What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Jorge's House of Horrors, your home for real chills, deep dives, and stories that are blurring the line between folklore and fact. I'm your host, Jorge, and tonight we're going to head into the most infamous haunted house in America history, right? You've seen the house. Red windows, like eyes, sitting quiet on a sleepy street in Long Island. It's inspired more than a dozen films, books, parodies, and at least one very weird episode of The Simpsons. But behind the pop culture legend is a real tragedy, a sensational story, and a major question. Was the Amityville Horror a demonic haunting or a carefully crafted hoax? This is the case that put Ed and Lorraine Warren on the map and in the crosshairs of skeptics forever. Let's unlock the front door and see what's inside, huh? Before the ghosts, before the slime, before the flies, there were 6 bodies. On November 13th, 1974, 23-year-old Ronald DeFeo Jr. walked into a bar in Amityville, New York and announced, "I think my mother and father are shot." Police raced to 112 Ocean Avenue and found the DeFeo family murdered in their beds. Father, mother, and 4 siblings, all shot execution style with a .35 caliber rifle. No signs of struggle, just horror. DeFeo later confessed, claiming voices in the house told him to kill. He would later change his story multiple times, blaming demons, the mob, even his sister. But the damage was done. DeFeo house was just another Dutch colonial in the suburbs. Now it was stained by one of the most brutal familicides in American history. 1 year later, a new family moved in, and things got weird fast. In December 1975, George and Kathy Lutz, newly married with 3 kids, bought the house for a steal, $80,000 for a property that should have gone for twice that. They knew about the murders, but they claimed it didn't bother them until it did. They lasted 28 days, and according to the Lutzes, the house turned into a walking nightmare. A priest who tried to bless the home reportedly heard a voice say, "Get out." A mysterious green slime oozed from the walls. Swarms of flies appeared in winter. Doors were ripped from their hinges. George began waking at 3:15 a.m., the time DeFeo murders were said to have happened. He claimed to hear marching band music and seeing glowing red eyes staring in through the windows. Kathy levitated. Their daughter made friends with an invisible demonic pig named Jody. They fled the home, leaving their belongings behind. They did what any terrified family would do. Why not? They hired a book agent. In 1977, Jay Anson's The Amityville Horror was published. It was billed as a true story. It became a massive bestseller and sparked a media frenzy. 2 years later, the film adaptation terrified audiences with bleeding walls and a house that seemed to breathe. And right in the middle of it all, Ed and Lorraine Warren. In March 1976, a few months after the Lutzes fled, Ed and Lorraine Warren arrived at 112 Ocean Avenue with a TV crew, a psychic, and a team of investigators. They weren't working for the Lutzes, they were there independently, drawn by the demonic rumors. Lorraine later claimed she immediately sensed an overwhelming evil presence. Ed, who never entered a house without a relic of protection, felt it too. Their team took photos, including the now infamous demonic boy photo, an image that supposedly shows a ghostly child peeking out from a bedroom doorway with glowing eyes. Creepy? Definitely. Proven? Not so much. The Warrens declared the house diabolically infested. Ed said, "This is no ordinary haunted house. This house is a psychic slum. It's an embarrassment to modern science." Their findings would become part of a growing Amityville legend. But they weren't the only ones writing chapters. From the start, critics smelled something rotten in Amityville, and it wasn't ghost slime. Investigative journalist Rick Moran dug into the case and found inconsistencies everywhere. See, the priest the Lutzes said was physically attacked denied most of their story. Neighbors never reported strange phenomena. No physical damage matched the Lutz's claims either. The Lutzes took a lie detector test and passed, but critics pointed out the test was arranged by their own legal team. Even more damaging, William Weber, the DeFeo family's defense attorney, later admitted he collaborated with the Lutzes to fabricate the haunting to sell a book and help his client plead insanity. His quote, "We created his story over many bottles of wine." That didn't stop the money from rolling in. Ed and Lorraine stood by the haunting until their deaths. They insisted the house was held in a dark, inhuman presence, and the evidence was undeniable. Lorraine reportedly refused to ever return, saying it was one of the only cases that truly terrified her. But skeptics argue the Warrens were too quick to label events as demonic, and too involved in the media spectacle to be taken seriously. Many see their involvement as opportunistic, a couple jumping on a growing legend to cement their reputation. Still, for believers, their role was crucial. They gave the case religious weight. They made it about cosmic forces of evil, not just creaky pipes and psychological trauma. Now, what's left behind? Well, today, the infamous house on Ocean Avenue still stands, but its address has been changed to throw off all thrill seekers. Just imagine how many people try to go and see this house. It's been owned by several families since the Lutzes, and none of whom have reported anything paranormal. So what happened? Was it a haunting fueled by genuine supernatural trauma? Was it a case of collective delusion brought on by grief, stress, and suggestion? Or a brilliant fabrication built on tragedy, media hype, and a savvy sense of storytelling? So what do you think? Drop your theories in the comments and tell me, what do you think? And would you spend the night in the Amityville house? I think I would. Anyway, if this episode gave you goosebumps, hit that like button, exorcise that, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. I'm Jorge, and this is Jorge's House of Horrors.